What is good, drone fan? This is Cruiser, where I show you how to make professional drone media, and today I'm doing a full review of this little guy right here, the Snapton SP310, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and impressions of it and let you know if it's worth the price. Check it out. Now today I'm going to be doing a full review of the Snapton SP310, which is a very small little guy right here. This drone doesn't have a camera, but it's a little toy drone. You definitely put it in the toy drone category. This weighs around 26 grams, which means you don't have to register it with the FAA. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a ton of the different features in this drone. This drone boasts a lot of awesome abilities, like the ability to do flips, throw and go, altitude mode, headless mode, one key returns, multiple speed switches, and one key takeoff and landing. I'm going to be going over each of these features and letting you know if it worked, how well it worked, and at the very end of this video, going over if this drone is worth $24.99 on Amazon. Now, just going straight into what it was like opening the box, you'll see that the packaging is really nice. It kind of felt like I was opening up a really high-tech piece of technology with what the packaging looked like. The cover is nice. It shows all the different features the drone has. Now when I open up the box and take a look inside, the packaging is really nice and professional. As well, you can see that there's some instructions. These instructions come in English, French, Spanish, Chinese, and they're actually really easy to understand, and they provide a ton of awesome information. It took me about 3 minutes of reading the instructions to get this drone up and going. There's also a ton of spare parts, as you can see. There's a lot of like spare legs, spare propeller guards, and spare propellers. There's even a screwdriver. Pretty much everything that you need to be able to get the drone up and running and flying. And then as well, one of the nice things that I like is that the drone can fit within the controller itself, and then also being able to have this little back part of the drone where you can have your propellers and batteries stored, and then this other opening where you can store the guards and the legs too. So really everything you need is just within this one little controller, which makes it very nice when packing it around and going places. Now, going through each of the features of the drone, starting with the throw and go, that actually works perfectly. You just hold it, throw it in the air, and then it'll catch itself and just start flying and holding its spot in place. That works perfectly, and I've never had any issues with that. Moving on to the 360 flip with the drone, you can do 4 different directions with flipping, and it's easy because there's a button right here on the controller that's easily marked so you know when you're gonna be flipping it. And you can do barrel rolls to the left and right, front and back. Super fun to do. Going on, talking about the altitude mode. The altitude mode is being able to just have the drone stay in one spot and not hover and drift. With normal like DJI drones or other drones where there's GPS involved, where it can like keep it stationed in one spot, this drone doesn't have that. Instead, you actually use buttons right here, these trimming buttons. And as it's flying, if you notice that it's drifting in a certain direction, say it's drifting to the right, then you'd press the left trimming button, and you'd press that until it comes back to where you want it to stay, and then you kind of just adjust according to whichever direction it's drifting. Eventually, after like a minute or so of doing this, it stays in one spot and you're totally good, and you can leave it hovering there. And that actually works pretty well. Of course, you got to keep in mind, like if you're going to be flying this inside, if you have a fan going or there's like AC, obviously gusts of wind are going to make this a lot more unpredictable with trying to keep it in one spot. With the one key landing and taking off feature, there's 2 buttons on the controller that let you accomplish this. And it's super simple to do. You just have it on the ground, press the takeoff, it's up in the air. You want to land it, you press the landing, and it comes down, lands softly. No issues with any of that. It's pretty awesome. Now, if you're controlling the drone and it is losing its orientation and you completely forgotten which way is the front or back of it, if you do headless mode, that lets you just regain control of that and just bring it forward and backward. I have an example of it in a video right here where you're watching it, and you can see that this actually works really well. I haven't had any issues with doing this with the SP310, which is something that I like to point out. The SP310 also has 3 different speed modes on it. So you press it once and it'll do 1 beep and you're on the low mode. Press it again, you switch to a medium speed, and then press it a 3rd time, and then you're on the top speed mode. I do know that like with the low speed, a lot of the clips that you're seeing in this video is me flying it at a low speed. And then as you increase the speed, it can go significantly faster. And then when you're on the top speed mode, you can actually get a pretty good speed going with that one. Probably enough to go as fast as like someone who's fallen sprinting. So I actually tend to stay in the low mode. Now, the last feature of this drone that I wanted to cover is the return functionality, and it's a button you press on the controller and it should return back to where it took off or return back to home. I've still yet to figure that out because I haven't actually been able to get it to work. I don't know if this should return back to the controller or to where it last took off. Either way, it doesn't do that. It kind of just, when I try it, it'll just kind of go in a random direction. So this is the one feature that, for me at least, has not worked, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's something that's kind of hard to figure out. So keep that in mind with this drone. For me, I haven't been able to get the return functionality to work. It could be user error, honestly, but so far, pressing the button, just having it return back to me or to the controller or where it last took off has not worked. Now, going over the specs of the drone and then the durability of it, this drone is actually really durable. I've crashed it probably like 18 to 20 times now, and every time it's crashed, usually the propeller guards come off or the legs. Very rarely do the propellers come off. I have put it through a lot of crashes though, so considering how many crashes it's been and into walls and objects, especially me trying to fly it through my Dyson, the propellers have actually held up pretty good. You can see close up that they are dinged up a little bit, and they're actually pretty flexible to where I can kind of bend them out and fix them. Battery life of this drone, it comes with 2 batteries, and you can actually have them charge at the same time with the charger it provides, which is just like a USB one. And the batteries last 14 minutes, and it takes usually 25 to 30 minutes to charge the batteries completely full, which for me is awesome because I can fly with one battery, have the other one charging, and then when that one dies, I can take the other one out, start going, charge the other one, kind of have like a continual cycle of flying here. So that is something that's awesome with this. And then the controller takes a couple AA batteries, so that lasts for a while. But overall though, with the flight time, with the batteries, and then with how fast the batteries charge, it's awesome. And I think it makes it great for a kid because some drones take a while to charge. This one is fast and you can get them up and running and you can have a lot of playtime with it. Now, going into if I think that this drone is worth $24.99, absolutely. I mean, if you just look at a couple different things here, one, it's really small, compact. It can all fit inside a controller, including spare parts, and it doesn't need to be registered since it's so light. And then plus the ability to have it do flips, the one-hand takeoff, the triple speeds, trimming with the altitude hold, all of that combines for awesome high-tech functionalities that drones can be able to do with this small little guy. So if you're looking as like, is this gonna be like a toy for me to use just around my house or like in my office, this is a great pick. And then as well, if you're trying to find something small and cheap for your kids to play with, the price point and with what you're able to do with the flips and everything, it's right on spot and I highly recommend it. Overall, this is a fun toy drone for me to review. I've loved flying it. I'm going to totally keep flying it. And I want to know in the comments below what your thoughts are about toy drones, if you do or do not like them. And then also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to learn how to make professional drone videos and photos. Drone fam, this is Cruiser. Thanks for watching today. Keep cruising.